Hi everybody, 2.4 has released and I am actually on the road this week. So I decided to do a little filming of our Phaser Fridays from my hotel room. If anyone can guess the hotel brand that I'm in based on the decor, you get all of the points. And if you know me, I just love giving out points. I don't know what they're for, but we're always playing a game. So now you're playing this game with me. Anyway, with that being said, I'm really excited to jump back into Phaser Friday stuff because I've kind of missed doing this, but I've been feeling a little bit like I don't really know what to talk about because we want to talk about the future, like what we're doing next. And this version has so much Phaser stuff in it that I could probably go on for 3 or 4 hours straight. But because I don't like it when these videos get too long, I do like to keep them in smaller bite-sized portions. Then we're just going to dive into what the Phaser recipe editor, or like how to make Phaser recipes in the recipe editor and kind of what that looks like, some basics of why things are where they are. Maybe we'll get into maybe some things we want to know in the future. And then we'll dive into in other videos stuff like, single shot and bounce and all these other features that they added in that we're also equally as excited about. So with that being said, let's take a look at the software. So if you're not already familiar with the recipe editor window, that's totally fine. We'll kind of gloss on that, but go back and watch one of the other videos and you'll get more about that. So I have a clear screen here. If I click anywhere on the screen and I go to the Common tab, you'll find the recipe editor right there in the Common tab. So this is your editor. It comes up like this. There's not really any settings that I feel like need to get turned on or off. There's not a ton of settings in this window, which I like. I'm sure they'll add more, right? Because we always want more settings here at MA. And I'm not being sarcastic. I literally think we do. So anyway, so this is the view I have for this video. So I've got my recipe editor down here and I've got this layout view with a bunch of pixels in it because why not? Let's look at phasers with pixels. Okay. So if you've worked with recipes before, what we're going to be calling the type of recipe that you worked with is a standard recipe. Just like we talk about a standard preset, we have a standard recipe. And the reason that we're going to call this a Phaser recipe is because it adds more than one step, just like Phaser presets, right? They add more than one step. So technically you can have a Phaser in a standard recipe, but it still makes it a standard recipe because it has that one step here. And thankfully they're indicated by teal, right? Because we love having separate colors so our mind doesn't have to think so hard. So your standard recipes are going to be a teal line here. You'll notice some other changes within the recipe editor before we even dive into Phasers. MA3 now collapses and uncollapses like this. I love it. And then I can filter on X, Y, and Z and then shuffle as well. So those were kind of things that we had before, but now we've kind of changed the layout of this slightly just so because this list could get like astronomically long, especially if all of these are turned on. It's like a lot of scrolling. So now I can collapse that. My recipe editor window is like drawn a lot smaller. I have this kind of big here today just because I'm on my laptop and I didn't have a lot of real estate. So I zoomed out kind of far, but this is what we have for the recipe editor. Anyway, that being said, I'm actually going to delete this. I can do that by pressing this minus button here. You'll notice there's some other buttons here on the left. If I hover over them, this is cut selection, this one's copy selection, and this is paste selection. So loving having those two right here in the recipe editor. So if I press this plus button here, this is just going to add a part. So I've got all the programmer parts. We don't want that right now. Bam, bam, bam. Let's go back. Delete. Expand part 0. Click where it says new recipe. And when my cursor is here where it says new recipe and I press this plus button, I get this pop-up here. The pop-up here is going to let me choose between a standard recipe or a Phaser recipe. So if I choose a Phaser recipe, you'll see this beautiful purple line with 2 steps automatically placed because why you would be making a Phaser recipe with less than 2 steps. So it's going to default to 2 on. I think this is really handy. It's one less button press that I as the programmer have to press. Console's kind of making some decisions for me. All right, I'm going to delete this one more time because I do want to talk about these buttons down here in the bottom right-hand corner. They're going to be like shortcut style buttons, so I don't have to be clicked in the new recipe or the new programmer part section. I can just press some shortcuts here. So I can add a new Phaser recipe just with the click of a button. You'll see that there was no pop-up this time. Again, love this, cuts down a step. I found that this week, I used this version like a corporate gig. It was such a simple, awesome thing to have at this time. And I found I use this button a lot. So anyway, just some initial thoughts, right, from using it in the real world. Okay, so just like before, I'm going to choose a selection. I'm going to use my all pixel RGB group right here. It's going to be all these pixels in kind of a gridded format. And then I have my absolute and relative. So We're now going to be filling in what values we want per step, right? So absolute, I can say 100, and let's go with the value for step 2 is 0. Okay, nothing happened. Nothing's moving. This is red because it doesn't actually know what these values are going to relate to. So my attribute that I want here, I'm going to set this to dimmer. Now you'll see as soon as the dimmer is running, here my pixel lines are turning on and off. Now we've got some curve options here. So the curve also, I think what I'm most excited about, I'm going to tell you I'm most excited about everything though, because that is kind of how I operate. But I am most excited about this. So we've got a couple curves. Again, these are not things that we couldn't do before, if that made sense. I could make a linear curve. I could make a snap. However, now this is something I can do within the recipe editor, and now I have the shortcut here in the curve column. So all of this curve column is doing is it's changing, of course, I clicked on the same one I had. It's changing these values down here for XL, decel, transition, and width. So stuff that we've been using before. Like this is not new stuff. We're like just building on the phasor knowledge that you already have. And so it's changing these values here. Now I can see what I'm looking at here. So this 2 here lets me know that all of these values are going to go with this 1 here is going to let me know all these values go with step 1. And this 2 here is going to let me know all these values go with step 2. Now if I have a step 3, now it gets a little tricky because I can't see all 3 at one time. Again, not that tricky, right? I just click. So now that I'm on this side, I know that this is correlating to 2 and 3. And when I click over here, I know that this is correlating to 1 and 2. I don't know why that took me a hot second to figure out the other day, but it did. And now that I see it, I can't unsee it. So now that you see it, you will not get stuck for like the minute or so I did the other day. Right. So custom curves. So now let's actually just make something for real. So let's set my phase here. Oh, you'll notice when I click between curve and phase, it changes down here. We love this too. This is also going to be what happens when you press these buttons on the right from adjust shape to adjust a matrix. However, there are 3 different options over here. So I've got the editor, I've got the sheet option of just like all my different matrix pools, and I've got the pool option here. And I can pin it to the editor if I want it to flip between the editor and, oh, no, not flip. It just pins one of them. Okay, cool. Well, okay, maybe I don't want to pin it. I thought that was going to pin it when I flipped this, but okay. So anyway, now I'm flipping between the 2. I like this feature a lot. I can just switch on the sides here, right? Okay. So let's go to a matrix, and then we're going to set our phase 0 to 360. Boom. Now we're moving. Adjust our shape. Let's start with maybe a snap. Oh, I want to show another feature I really like. Okay. Adaptive width. Watch what happens when I turn this on. Oh, it just switches it to 1 pixel. And then it won't matter like how many pixels you have selected. It kind of keeps that 1 light on. So it's just doing the math so that you can make these easy chases. We're going to be so... Oh my goodness, I've been trying to figure out how to make like test patterns. So I want to make a macro that automatically builds test patterns. And this is really where I was hung up with like the different lengths of fixtures. So I think adaptive width is going to finally let me build these macros. And I'm so excited. I'll share that with you guys when I am done with them. Obviously, you'll notice when I turn it on, this is all grayed out because it has to do the math automatically. You don't get a decision anymore. I'm going to turn this back off. Okay. Sorry. Side tangent about adaptive width. Okay, now I can change my width here. Let's say I want this set to 30%, and I can turn measure on. You know, I like to keep my measure at 2 if you've been around here, or I like to keep my measure for as many steps as I have, let's be honest, but 2 is typically because I'm doing 2-step phasers. And now I can play with my transition. So this is all that stuff that I liked to look at in the phasor editor window, like this, the 2D form view, but now it's here. So A, I don't have to have 2 views open, and B, it's part of the recipe. So it doesn't matter what group I select now. These are all recipe values. Like, what? Okay, that's really cool. Anyway, you'll notice here after I've customized something here, the curve will say custom, and that's not something I can choose. If I wanted to save this, like I know I use the shape all the time, and this is going to be saved in the shapes pool. We're going to look at that in depth on a different video, but we do now have a shapes pool. So It's like forms. If you're from MA2, it's essentially forms. If you're not from MA2, don't worry about it. It's shapes. This is all you know. This is all you're gonna know. And I'm really excited about this fact. Anyway, we can also choose from presets too. So you'll notice if you click this absolute here and I go to dimmer, I have the preset pool here. I don't have any presets in this show file for some reason. So I think I deleted them all when I was making this video. But anyway, you can choose presets here. Pretty straightforward. You can also assign them to the line just like we did before. Again, very straightforward. The one thing that I do want to say is this edit recipe option that we've been used to using and we loved so dearly only works with standard recipes. So unfortunately, what you've been watching me do, right? I'm going to clear this out. Where I make a phaser recipe and then choose my selection and choose my values. This kind of all has to be done manually right now. That is the known limitation. They said it right at the top of the release notes. This should not be a surprise to anyone. This is where we're at. So with that being said, start using your phaser recipes today and let's start playing around with it and see what else comes next.